All right, Rick Smiley Morning Show. Hey, 12 minutes before the top of the hour, y'all. We got the one and only Dr. MJ Collier on with us this morning. Hey, Dr. Collier, I said something to Eva and Brad this morning. First of all, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, Ricky. I'm doing wonderfully. It is Friday. We made it through another week in this corona time.
Yes, sir, man. I really appreciate you coming on. Dr. Collier, I don't think this stuff going to be under control for the next 24 months, and I think we about to see a whole nother peak, and all of those numbers go back up. And tell me if I'm wrong.
Oh, no, I think you are right. I know that we're definitely going to see another peak. Next week is going to be very interesting because of what has happened this week amongst people who are using the relaxed shelter in place and social distancing. Again, you know, people were released to do things, but they are not doing what they should do to protect themselves. So as of today, the U.S. death cases are going up continuously. Now we have 1,292,879 identified cases. The number of deaths is now 77,000, and the number of recovered individuals, over 220,000 people have gotten the virus, survived it, and now hopefully will have immunity to it, those super soldiers. But, Ricky, we do have some hope in the making now. Remember, we're talking about that there is no treatment. The only things we really can do are boost our immune system until we have a vaccine. Well, there's a new vaccine trial that's utilizing a different technology to make a vaccine. Then they're moving to what's called phase 2 in their trials. That means they're very close to bringing it to market now. They got through phase 1, which means it's showing that it works, and 2, it hasn't had any safety issues. And when you make a traditional vaccine, there are multiple ways we have done this, and this is since the time of Jonas Salk and polio vaccines. One, you take a live virus. And this is why people didn't like to take the flu vaccine earlier, because the live virus actually gives you the disease. Hopefully, you would have a mild case of the disease. Your body would make antibodies, you'd be immune, and you get over it. But, you know, people will say, I'll just take my chances. If I get the flu, I get the flu. If I don't get it, then I'm fine. So that's why a lot of people, they say, I got the flu shot and it made me sick. So they changed that in the flu vaccine over a decade ago. So it can't make you sick now. They use an attenuated virus. That means they've crippled the virus enough that it can't cause disease, but the virus is there for your body to recognize and make antibodies to it. Then they fine-tune that technique. They use viral fragments. In other words, if you look at the body like the virus is like the human body, they just take the foot of the virus and utilize that for your antibodies can recognize it, but there's nothing disease-causing about that little fragment, so it can't make you sick. It can't do anything negative to you, but it does allow you to have immunity to it. Your body recognizes it. Well, this new technology, this is new technology.
Hold that thought. Okay. New technology. We're gonna come right back, and if you have any questions for Dr. MJ Collier, you can call right now 866-9-RICKEY 866-9-RICKEY. Call Dr. Collier now on Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
Been around for about 10 years, but they are using it now to create vaccines, and this will be really the first vaccine that they're bringing to market. And it's using technology called synthetic messenger RNA, and that allows your body to create an immune model and antibodies with no actual exposure to the coronavirus. It's based on the genetic sequence of the coronavirus that they have already identified. This can be developed and manufactured relatively quickly, Ricky, and they think they can have this available for use as early as the fall of this year. So we're just looking at a matter of months versus the 2 years that the other companies' vaccines using the traditional models are doing. So you have 2 other big U.S. pharma companies that have announced vaccines that are in early trials, and those still won't be available. It's thought that 18 months would be the absolute earliest if they fast-track them. But this is a totally new approach. It's new technology. And again, you know, innovation, oftentimes is brought upon by necessity. And so this is where we are with that. So, you know, you can get infected by the shots because they don't contain any of the coronavirus.
Right.
So this is something that we're excited about.
Okay, let's go to the phones. You're on with Dr. MJ Collier. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, my dad, he's got normally considered dementia or something like that, but it seemed like it came on kind of quick. So I was going to see if he could maybe get in, or what would he have to do to get in to maybe be tested for the COVID-19.
I would definitely have him tested because acute onset dementia or confusion is now one of the identified symptoms of corona infection. And so find out if his primary care provider has access to testing. If he does not, then call your local hospital facilities to do so. And so, that is, he definitely needs to be tested, particularly because it comes on so rapidly. Most of the time, dementia is a long, slow process. You start to notice that individuals are starting to forget a few things or repeat themselves. But if it started relatively quickly, that needs to be evaluated.
All right, you're on with Dr. MJ Collier. Good morning.
If a patient has had the COVID, been discharged from the hospital, they go back out into the public, are they tested again before they leave or by their PCP to make sure they still don't have the virus?
They are not routinely tested, and they should be routinely tested. The CDC criteria is that you have had 2 negative tests that are spread apart by at least 24 hours and starting at least 14 days after onset of your symptoms. The problem is that people are being discharged from the hospitals, and once they leave the hospital, they don't have access to testing. This is why we are having the issues with testing now that hopefully will get better now that it's reaching the White House directly, and that they are going to have to test everybody in the White House on a daily basis now to make sure that it's not spreading throughout the workers there.
All right, you're on with Dr. MJ Collier. Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Collier. As the weather begins to change and the temperatures begin to get higher and August approaches, do you recommend people to still take their vacations that they had planned for that month?
That is, of course, something that everybody is considering. The problem is that because of cabin fever, everybody has been locked up and they cannot wait to get out and get to the beaches and do those things that they traditionally have done. When they tried that model in California, the beaches were overwhelmed. There was no social distancing, so the governor was forced to close them all again. So this process is being developed in real time, the rules and regulations, but people will have to do what they are supposed to do. They can't get upset when people tell them to put on masks. They can't fight the system. They need to protect themselves, but that more importantly, we need to flip the script and say, have respect for the people around you. Wear your mask to protect other people, not yourself. So we know it's your body and your choice, but we're talking about protecting the masses. The good of the many outweighs the good of the few or the one. Mr. Spock, Star Trek 1.
I know that's right. You're on with Dr. MJ Collier. Good morning.
So I saw something online saying that now that China has found that the virus is in men's sperm, what does that say for women that are trying to get pregnant?
It can be found in any mucous membrane or body fluid, but they've even found it in tears. So, again, we are learning on a daily basis about this. So, one, it wouldn't be a bad idea for both partners to be tested and declared clear before trying to develop a pregnancy. There have been no documented cases of fetuses getting the virus through intercourse and conception, but that's only because we really haven't looked for it. So we're hoping that, any infectious disease situation, you have to be careful. So if both partners can get tested, that's probably going to become routine in reference to when you get your prenatal workups.
Yeah, did you say tears?
Yes.
Damn.
So people,
you can't cry.
You can't cry. You can't cry at a funeral. You can't cry.
Damn.
Yeah, tears. I was really surprised when I saw that.
Yeah, you got to be like at them drug dealer funeral, them thugs coming out and they cry but don't know tears. And you got to walk off.
Yeah, dog, got to stay hard with it. Oh, he said, no tears on the face, Dr. Collier.
No tears, those dry tears. They have to be decontaminated when that happens. Yes, sir.
Dr. Collier, you know, went to one of them dope boy funerals with them thugs.
You gotta stay hard, Rickey. You have to stay hard. No tears. Just a little moaning, but no tears. Keep that face dry.
Oh, man, Dr. Collier.
It's going to be a problem. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Man, thank you so much. Y'all give it up for Dr. MJ Collier. Real quick, let everybody know how you can be reached.
Okay, I can be reached on all social media at Ask Dr. MJ. And for your information on how to boost your immune system, go to my website, lipodrops.com. We're going to introduce an immune building compound supplement that we really is going to contain zinc, black elderberry, and vitamin C. So we're really going to bring that information to people because it's going to be 3 products in one, and it's really going to help boost the immune system.